welcome to or welcome back to. All right, we're done. See you guys. Thanks for coming.
It is here.
Welcome to or welcome back to Toto Spotfest. That is our champion, my champion, your champion, our champion, one Mr. Austin Reddick. I am JJ. That is Jamie. We are coming back at you. For those of you who didn't watch our pre-show, go back on our YouTube page, watch our pre-show. We're going to talk about that in a second here from this weekend's Found City Pro, where we actually did I think this is our first ever official recorded handoff of the title. We've done physical handoffs. Jamie usually throws it at me or I throw it at him, right? You know, toss it in the backseat of his car at bowling or something. But we did an official handoff. Congratulations, champ. How are you gentlemen doing?
For the record, you've handed that title off to me way more times than I've handed it off to you.
We're not doing numbers tonight, Jamie. This is not a math podcast. This is a wrestling podcast.
Hey, Rob.
What's up, Rob? How are you doing,
What's up,
champ?
Big Rob? I am doing well. Kicking off my second run as the Pick'em champion. Hopefully a little bit longer than the first one, but we'll see.
So let's settle this right now. Let's do it live too. Are we doing Dynasty and WrestleMania?
Yeah.
I would say just Dynasty. One, for entirely self-serving reasons. Two, I have not really had any interest in the Mania build, so I'm going to be guessing pretty blind on a lot of those.
I vote we have to do Mania since we've been actually watching the Fed a little bit.
I mean, if we're gonna do any WWE pay-per-view, it's got to be Mania. That's the.
I don't know. Rumble was pretty fun, except for me losing.
Rumble's
that
our
part wasn't
personal
good.
favorite. Yes.
So the thing with Mania 2 is it is 2 nights. Are we doing for both nights, or are we doing
total.
each night its own defense?
No, both nights. No, nobody wants to do that much work.
Yeah, and then Cody Roman time is the tiebreaker.
Absolutely.
Okay, so if we're doing that, can we pick night 1 leading into Saturday, but not pick night 2 until Sunday? So if you have a terrible night 1, you can get a little bit crazier with your picks and try and make up ground?
I'm good with that.
Dude, no. It's just like the freaking NCAA tournament. You make all your picks all at once and you roll with it. You got to roll the dice.
They have plenty of sports betting things where you can jump in on a bracket and whatever round you want, still get in on the prize. It's taken over the nation.
Ladies and gentlemen, there's one of us who was adamant about adding the WWE pay-per-views to our calendar more than the other two, and that person is holding a belt over his right shoulder right now.
I was adamant about picking the Rumble. I made no determination.
Which I'm happy with because I won that sucker, you know?
I'm good with doing Mania, but so as the defending champion, kind of like the House of Black when they were trios champions, I feel like I get to make a house rule, and it's that the picks are due by noon each day of each show. I think that makes it more fun. Because then I think Sunday, if you're a few picks behind, like you got to start throwing some wild ones out there and hoping for the best.
I'm good with that. And actually, I don't mind that as a general rule. You know, we just got to get picks out noon the day of.
Well,
yeah,
I have problems with that, especially if I have tournaments. So, but those are the exceptions that we all know about.
All right, so we'll do it for Mania. Are we all good with that? So we're gonna do both. Okay, so we're gonna do Dynasty as well. So we're sticking to our guns and doing all the AEW pay-per-views, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And we're going to do the big 4 for WWE, yes or no?
Yes.
That works.
Okay.
The big 4.
Because, I mean, we could just stay with Rumble Series, and Mania if you wanted. Okay.
And then, Jamie, there's nothing stopping you from putting both nights in by Saturday. You just have until Sunday at noon to put in night 2.
Yeah, that's true. And here's the thing, too. Megan has been watching the Fed religiously for like the past, like since
gonna beat our ass hard.
The road, yes, like she's back, and she proved that she was back by the perfect card that got second place.
That is the Megan from this photo here. This photo is this what 14-year-old Megan? I think 15-year-old
15-year-old Megan when she had every belt.
Yeah. That was her for like
perfect.
4 years of kicking our butts. Like literally, since she was 12, she beat the living shit out of us. Not just me, us. Beat the living crap out of us all the time.
Hey, she had a perfect card. It just wasn't perfect enough.
She is a smart.
I mean, you were within a damn minute. Like that's impressive. Minute 40.
You're minute 49 away. Me and Jamie had a couple little errors where we could have been there, but we weren't. You guys were.
You guys brought it.
Bringing it for Mania too.
Oh, you're going to your first WWE show in 17 years?
17 years.
So
wow.
John Cena is not there.
The Rock is.
The Rock is back.
Depending on the night.
He's a lot bigger now.
You need
like
no
a
yeet.
lot bigger.
You need no yeet.
Yeet.
I thought they got sued over that. I thought they couldn't say yeet anymore.
They're
just
saying
it on church, I guess.
They settled.
They bought it.
TKO's got money.
Yeah. So so it's yeet. It's yeet.
It is yeet. It is not yeet.
No
okay.
yeet.
All right.
Yeet.
All right. Let's bring it on back. All right. So we have
We've
settled it. We are doing 2 defenses. There will be 2 opportunities for the title in April. We will be doing WrestleMania. Yes. Oh God. Oh God. I'm not even gonna read that. No, we're walking past that. So that's what we're gonna do for the title. All right. So how are you guys doing otherwise?
I've had better days.
Jamie had to call me earlier today, so I know about this, Austin. But
yeah.
Do you want to expel your feelings and emotions on the internet real fast?
Yeah. So chat. I'm sorry, we're not gonna talk Fed or wrestling for like probably a good 7 minutes, but I had a problem with my car. Like for some odd reason, my AC, climate control, nothing was firing. Like no wind, no airflow at all in my car. So I brought it up to the dealership. I'm like, okay, I know it's gonna be expensive. I know I'm gonna probably have to drop some money. They call me and like, okay, hey, what's the damage? And he's like, $6,000. And I'm like, I literally was like, are you fucking kidding me?
6,000 American dollars?
Yeah. He's like, no, we got to replace.
I just want to take a pause for the cause here. Okay.
Yeah.
Jamie is a man who is definitely working his way through life. He's not driving a S500 Mercedes, Okay, we're talking about a Kia. Okay, he has a Kia.
Kia K5.
A normal person's car, an average car, normal car, right?
Yeah. No, working man's car. Like, is the Dusty Roads? Well, I guess it's not because it's Korean, but it's like the Korean Dusty Roads version.
Hey, Dusty didn't discriminate.
That's true. He was
a man of the people, all of them.
That's right, Jack. But anyway, so this thing, I brought it in there. They told me it's $6,000, and I'm like, you gotta be kidding me! Like, it's a 2021, it's worth $12,000. So if I get this thing fixed, it's literally worth half of what my car is worth. So my wife and I are in this shithole of a decision: do we fix it, or do we just like not tell a dealership and trade it? Hopefully, no one's watching. And then get into like a newer car. Because like there is 0% out there and things like that. So it's like I might be car shopping. The auto show is in Kansas City this weekend. So while Jen is enjoying fucking Jamaica, I'm gonna be at the auto show, like checking out seats and see if my fat ass fits in a car.
If you're out and about on Saturday, I might go with you. How about that?
There you go. I'll be up north.
I feel like if you trade it in, you'll get more than that $6,000 it costs to fix it, because they could fix it for far less than that.
Oh, they are just like
putting me together.
Maybe
they are putting me together. It's a work.
100%.
Like,
100%.
Oh, you gotta redo this wiring harness. You gotta get a completely new fuse box for up front. That's a lot of money, man. Blah blah blah. I'm like, I know.
If it's a 2021, is it not like still under warranty for that kind of shit?
He bought it used.
Gotcha.
I bought it used, and anyway, that's covered under bumper to bumper. That's now a powertrain item.
Gotcha.
So double fucked. Yeah. It's like right up in there. DVDA, dude.
That's not fun. That's not how you want to spend your Wednesday, especially a big business Wednesday. They're doing some big business on you.
Somebody doing some big business on you.
Yeah, somebody's trying to get some big business on me, but I do like his segue into actual big business.
Let's go big.
Let's
Let's go big with
talk
our
a little
business.
AEW big business. So, elephant in the room, I guess, or very small, petite, awesome woman in the room. Is she gonna show up? It is in Boston, two S's, everything like that. They open the show with Mercedes Mone, but she is not the boss anymore. No, she is the CEO. What was your guys' reaction? One, I mean, obviously you're like, I knew it, but then were you all like behind it? How'd you feel her promo was? Like, what?
Okay.
Give it to
I'll go
me.
first. All right. So, first of all, I like the whole Maybach bit, with Renee, kind of to tease it, and then, so then do the whole CM Punk just roll, like everybody knew what was coming from minute one, right? So I like to get into a little playfulness with it, okay? And her look is very similar to how she debuted in Japan, which is great. I love the hair, how she, as a bald man, jealous as hell. She's like screen prints her hair. It's amazing.
What do you mean?
Well, just screen print your head. Just get some Sharpies out, and you could have boss head or CEO hair.
I mean, I do have real estate. I am a fan of tattoos. So if anybody is looking for,
Bam Bigelow, bro.
I'm selling this shit. Highest bidder. You want to get your logo? I don't care what. You want something up on the internet for everybody to see? I'll advertise. I don't care.
I'll give you $20 to get the stash of knowledge right on the top of the dome.
All right, so we're $20 is the lead. Let's get up there. So I did. I mean, it looked fantastic, of course, right? I like the CEO bit. I really do. I think that obviously you can't exactly copy what WWE had with her, right? So I dig the CEO bit. It's a little bit different, but it's the same realm, so it's still familiar. It's nice and catchy. It's easy to chant, so the fans. I mean, I thought all in all, CEO's good, right? I'll dig it. I'm not a fan of her new music. That's just a personal thing. The music's fine. I don't know. It's like I have two big problems with her music, and one of them might just be my proclivities to her NXT character and her early, main roster character. That music was perfect, so good. But I really have a problem with the music that takes forever to get going for a wrestling entrance. And her crescendo on this song, it's so long. If she ever does a run-in, it's going to take forever for the music to play to get up to the point where she comes out, right? So, I don't know. Personally, the music I thought could have been better, but she was fine. She did exactly what, you expect her to do. She did kind of a little bit of the, the I'm home bit, which I believe some other big name who debuted in AEW maybe a little year and a half, 2 years ago did as well. But I thought it was great.
Yeah, I'm with you on the
like
music.
LaCroix is what Rob says.
There's taste, but it ain't there. That's a good way to put it. I feel like the music sounds like it was shot out of the WWE random theme music generator that they use these days. It was just kind of basic for a character that's anything but. It just doesn't fit her. It could you could tweak it a little bit, throw some extra shit in there and it'll probably be all right.
I mean, her actual cousin is Snoop Dogg.
Yeah. And there is no shortage of talented producers that are also wrestling fans that could throw something together with a little bit more to it than that. I really appreciated that not only did they kick off the show with her, but they made sure to explicitly state that Riho and Willow would be the main event. So you knew she was coming back later.
Yeah,
that's good storytelling and writing right there. That's a good way to let your audience know what to expect without telling them exactly what's going on. As far as the promo, the promo seemed very WWE. I get them. I'm glad she got her moment at the beginning to kind of soak in it. The crowd was adoring her and cool. She got her moment from her hometown and all that. but it did sound that very kind of start and stop like WWE delivery, and it was just kind of a generic babyface promo.
Mm-hmm.
I am hoping it was intended to be disingenuous, and before too long, we're getting heel Mercedes Mone, because that's more interesting to me. I want her to end up joining with Willow, Stat, and Stokely, and Stokely is like the executive assistant to the CEO. There's so much entertainment value there. Whereas I think as a babyface, like we'll get some great matches, but I think the character is just much better as a heel.
Yeah, I am right there with you. I thought it was Heather hit the nail right on the head. Like she was genuinely happy with the reception, like overwhelmed with emotion. But my whole thing, and in our household, we were watching. We're just like, okay, Willow's gonna get this match, and then she's gonna find some way to turn and like, okay, I'm CEO, I'm running things, blah blah blah. You know, like doing that kind of thing, like she usually does. Like we Megan and I both agreed she's a much better heel than a face. Just she oozes heelness, you know, without even trying. And like they need to tap into that. And I didn't even think about the Stokely Hathaway thing. That is absolutely amazing.
They would be money together, not to like make puns on the whole spiel and all that. But yeah, like that you could print money with Stokely and Mercedes together.
Oh, it would be so great. And then you could add Megan Bain to the mix, you know, because both of them did a little Stardom thing, you know, and you could
if you got the right person in there, you could do a straight up female Four Horsemen that's like more true to the original Four Horsemen, not when WWE was calling Bailey, Sasha, Becky, and Charlotte them just to kind of cash in on it. You could have that kind of dynamic where they're legitimately like running the show.
That'd be sick.
Heather's point there. The Dvorak, I'm glad you brought that up because it was very subtle and it was in there right before kind of the turn on the music, and you know Dvorak Symphony in number 9 in E minor is one of the best entrance songs I've ever heard for a wrestler ever. You know, but you know, I just wanted to kind of point that out. I think that you didn't, again, and I hear both of what you guys saying, but also you're not wrong, Jamie. It was WWE ish, E-like.
Yes.
Oh, it was very fetty.
It was very fetty. There we go.
Yeah.
Thank you. Very fetty. But it didn't need to be anything more than that. It's Mercedes Mone first appearance on you. You want to get all those eyes that don't watch AEW that are Sasha Banks Mercedes Mone fans, so you give them the Mercedes Mone that they're familiar with. We'll turn her into like a raving heel here in 2-3 months. Fantastic. Okay.
Oh, don't wait that long. Like a week. Next week.
I legit thought they might have done it at the end of the show. I thought for a second they were going to do it instantly.
So I thought the exact same thing. I thought lights come out. She's there. She's just wailing on freaking Willow. And then here you go. We got heel Sasha Banks, Mercedes Mone, what everybody wants, because they need a top heel woman. Like they need the top heel woman. And she could be that moniker. She could be that person.
Because they only have, Tony's technically a heel, but she's her own entity, right? Yeah. Julia's a heel, but it's kind of that cool heel because she's House of Blackish, right? You know, I guess Soraya's a heel now. I don't know, whatever's going on.
But they don't have
Isn't Serena a heel?
Who?
Isn't Serena a heel?
No,
Serena
Serena's been kind of facey.
Okay, I haven't seen her since she came back, so I wasn't sure. But I knew she was still doing the like Professor or Woman of 1,004th Holds thing or whatever. So
I feel so good, but we
just keep it
okay. So let's just go ahead and stay with this because might as well. We'll end with the main event. So we'll end cap it, then we'll do the smush. Because
we're gonna do the smush.
Yeah. So we're just talking about the rest.
You did give Heather the wrench. Good job.
Yes, she deserved it.
Nice.
But I will have to say this about that main event. I loved it. There's nothing about that main event that I did not like. I thought they did a very good job of making everything plausible. Riho is, for as tiny as she is absolutely phenomenal. And anytime I get Willow Nightengale on my TV, I'm a happy man because that woman can wrestle, and she just, again, oozes the charisma.
Yeah. The main event was fantastic. Riho and Willow are both really good at this. And especially with the run-ins at the end, it just left me sit there watching, wondering, why did we get so many Sky Blue matches on Dynamite for like 3 months there when Willow and Riho were available and Statlander was available? Like, I know they were doing some collision stuff, but the last 2 weeks, because Statlander and Riho last week, I wasn't able to make the show last week, but Statlander and Riho last week was phenomenal as well. Let your women that are really good at this shit go out there and wrestle on your main show more often. Like, more of this in your women's division on Dynamite.
One, we got Willow Nightengale and Riho as the main event on the Dynamite. I'm going to say it again. We got Riho and Willow Nightengale as your main event on a premiere Dynamite show. Crowd loved it. Fantastic. The match was excellent. Excellent. Sometimes Riho, if the person she's matching up with doesn't know their stuff, they don't know how to handle. It's kind of a similar thing that Jade had, right? You know, because if she was with somebody who was just as green as she was, you know, they didn't know what to do, right? Sometimes somebody matches up with Riho who's not familiar enough with working somebody of her stature, they don't know what to do. They're not good enough, right? Because she's so small, right? You know, you got to know how to work that, you know. And Willow's a consummate professional, so it's perfect. Okay. Mm-hmm. Number 2, you did get Sky Blue and Julia Hart on your TV as well.
Sky Bluety.
You can keep that.
Yeah, you gotta say right. It's Julia Hart and her good friend Sky Blue. It's like they make sure to explicitly tell you they're not like a team. She's not part of the faction. She's just a friend.
She's hard friend zoned with another woman.
You say he's and they're not gay.
It's like, yeah. Oh baby, you.
Yeah, that was actually pretty good.
We used to actually sit on my stoop when I lived in the dorm my freshman semester before I joined my fraternity. We used to sit on there, like me and my roommate and a couple other guys, after we partake in some stuff, and we would just sing that to anybody walking by for no reason. And it was fantastic. We thought it was the funniest thing on earth. So,
that's great.
You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about, Austin. All right.
Yeah.
It was great. But no, you still got that in there. So they're still keeping them involved. They're not getting buried because they're not on TV, because that's usually been the MO. If you don't have a match and you're a woman, maybe you're one of the 2 or 3 who has like a 20-second promo in the back. Maybe you get Ruby Soho, hey Ruby, getting her boyfriend beat up on live TV or something like that. But no, they didn't. They actually put them out there for little TV time, kept him in the storyline here without having to subject Austin to a Sky Blue match. So, I mean,
Bluety.
I like that. They're doing, you can say that all you want. I'm not going down that road. I'm sorry, Jamie.
I mean, that's who she is. She's Sky Bluety. Like, even Heather goes, we all know why, Sky Bluety. But I just add the L because it's blue, you know, Bluety. I feel like it just...
I like that they're getting Mercedes involved in the TBS title storyline.
Same.
One, I don't want to see Tony's run end just yet. Assuming we're getting Hayter back in the somewhat near future, I would like to see him do Tony and Hayter before they move on to Hayter and Mercedes. But either way, like now that you got Mercedes in, we've saw awesome matches with Statlander, Willow, and Riho over the last couple weeks. Tony Storm's doing some of the best work in the industry right now. The women's division seems like it's in a pretty good place. So I'm just hoping that they keep it interesting and don't just kind of make it the Mercedes Mone show every week going forward. And it's just her and one other talent.
Well, speaking of other talent, hopefully everybody got to see Deonna Purrazzo's little promo to your point, and she's gonna have a tag team partner to go against Mariah May and Timeless Tony Storm.
Whoo!
And
Woo!
all signs
Woo!
point that it's gonna be Britt Baker. Welcome back, Britt, and Britt's already back in the main event line. How you guys feel about that?
That makes sense.
I think Britt Baker has been gone an appropriate amount of time to like it'll be fresh and new when she comes back. She has done what we've been begging Chris Jericho to do for like 2 years now. And I know she was like, I think she had some back problems and stuff. So she was healing up, which like good, rest up, get healthy. But I think this time off TV is going to do really well for her. And also just having a much deeper roster of talented women to work with will help Britt as well. So I'm looking forward to her coming back.
I mean, cause when Britt was getting overused on us, it was feast or famine, right? She was in the title picture, or she's nearly adjacent, or she just, dialed it in and wasn't there, right? So I like to take this, and there's natural storylines with Deonna. You can bring Britt in on with that. I'm good for it. Plus, you can bring in, and this is what I like, because this is to me is a natural segue. Thunder Rosa. Thunder Rosa's make overtures towards Tony Storm kind of in passing, right, on Collision. But Britt's the key in. Remember, Thunder Rosa never lost that title that's around Tony Storm's waist.
True story.
Plus, you can keep Mercedes anchoring the other side of things until she's ready. And you're ready, let's be honest, until London gets close enough and you move her over to the other side.
Well, also, if you put the TBS title on Mercedes, you have now elevated the TBS title, and it's really no longer a secondary women's title. You just have two women's championships with different groups of women fighting over them, which is probably the best thing they could do for that division.
It's what you want, right?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Like, I like to see that title move around a little bit more than it does, personally, but not right now because I'm loving Timeless Tony Storm with it. So it's one of those things. I want to move, but not right now. Okay, guys. No, like Tony Storm right now, and then you add that layer. I think that adds some stuff, and you have Mercedes doing her thing over there. I think that keeps everybody happy. And then again, are we finally building the foundation to a solid women's division on TV? And I'm hoping, for the love of God, the answer is yes.
It feels
they got the talent. If they do it right, this will be groundbreaking for them.
Maybe it's giddy optimism on Mercedes Mone night, but it feels like it.
Heather's not wrong. This is the best Luther's ever done in his career.
Yeah, it's perfect role for him.
Perfect. And ladies and gentlemen, if you are just joining us, we do happen to have a poll about which nickname do you prefer for Mercedes Mone / Sasha Banks. And right now, the boss is in the lead, which is understandable. 67% of the votes are going that way. We still have some
Snoop's
time.
cousin, not one. Nobody.
Not one Snoop's cousin. That was kind of disappointing. I thought it was kind of funny that I threw it on there. But
well, it should have been Snoop's cuz. You messed up on how you typed it.
Ah, Jesus. I don't want to know. I'm not touching that one. And so we got some time on that. I'm going to leave that out there for you all. Don't forget, hit that like and subscribe button. It means a lot to us. It helps us out a butt ton. So that's all I got there. That was my one pandering that I had for you guys. All right. So moving on. Do we want to talk about the first official match of the show? And that is Samoa Joe going up against Mr. Wardlow himself.
Do we want to talk about that, or do we want to blow past the unfortunate tag match leading into the main?
There was a tag match leading into the main. Jericho was on your TV. He's going to be on your TV again next week fighting his tag team partner because he craves TV time. So there's that.
Yes. Is there anything else to say about that? It was Jericho on one side and the Gates of Agony. who just like, I feel like the gates only get thrown out into segments you don't really care about watching, which is unfortunate because I actually like those guys. But yeah, I figured we might as well just acknowledge that and then move on to the rest of the show, which was all pretty good to
me. We have a thing that we do now, Jamie and I, for our bowling league. Whenever you get a 9, you have to sit up there with the 1 because you left one.
You gotta acknowledge the 9.
You gotta acknowledge the pin. Yeah,
acknowledge the pin. But yeah, so
our buddy's wife hates us. It's fantastic.
I'm gonna make this really brief because we are a broken record when it comes to Chris Jericho. Get him off my damn TV. Okay, that's all I had to say about that. So now let's go ahead and talk about Mr. Wardlow and Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
So let's go from negative to positive. And I love Samoa Joe. I love what he's doing. I love, honestly, what they are doing with Wardlow right now. I thought this was a good thing they did with Wardlow. Even though he lost, he still didn't look terrible.
I think they did a real good job of selling Wardlow as a potential mainliner, right?
He's not there yet.
He's not there yet. We all know that. And that's why the match played out like it did, because he's not there yet. But he held his own. He held the crowd, more importantly. And he held them in the right manner, okay? So he kept the heat in the right way, but still put out a little bit. Joe can go with big guys. I love how Joe tried the whole walk-away thing, and Wardlow caught him and then still hit him with the shoulder dive. So he's learning some stuff. I dig it. And, it's not surprising the match the way it went, but I thought all in all, it was good. Better than I would have expected for what felt to be like a really quick cash-in of that number 1 contendership. So,
yeah, this whole Wardlow first almost quarter of 2024 seems like they had stuff set up, hoping they would have Adam Cole back, realize he was going to be out significantly longer. And now they're just kind of tying this up so they can move on to other shit. Like, this was a real abrupt ending to the build of Wardlow over the last, 6 to 8 weeks. But he did look good in the match, but he also lasted about as long as Hook did against Samoa Joe. So, clearly, they're not pushing him to the moon anytime soon. Also, I enjoyed the match. It was good. I think if you can't have a good match with Samoa Joe, you're probably in the wrong line of work because he's an all-time great. I thought the Adam Cole promo beforehand, where he seemed to specifically be acknowledging Wardlow was going to give him the title after he won it, was kind of interesting. But yeah, this whole kind of build, it just ended up with Wardlow just losing to Joe in a solid 10 to 12 minutes, and that's it.
Without a healthy Adam Cole, the whole shtick about Wardlow, them turning on Wardlow, doesn't work. So
I would even go farther and say without Adam Cole, the Undisputed Kingdom doesn't really work right now. It's not bad, but I think with having Adam Cole on the sidelines, it's not what you were hoping it would be.
No.
Yeah, so Markstradamus's wheels were a turning after this match. I mean, yes, Strickland came down, and they kind of got it a little bit. But my favorite definitely is of the whole thing of this was when Joe was leaving, and there's a guy laying down on the edge of the entrance, and he straight kicked him off, and then he walked in. I'm like, dude, that's just the best shit ever.
Fuck you too, get out of here.
Yeah, it was let's get rid of everybody. But my whole thing, and this is what I'm thinking. Why would they put Wardlow up now? Why? So I'm trying to figure this out. Because obviously they're setting up for Swerve Joe.
Yeah.
And Swerve's gonna win it. I'm stamping it. At Destiny, he's winning it. Dynasty, whatever. It is his destiny to win that title. But I'm thinking the reason that they had him lose, and you guys can tell me how you feel about this, is Cole's closer to coming back than we all think he is. Why would they have him lose if Cole wasn't around? Why would they even have this match yet if Cole wasn't close?
I think you might be just reading too much into it. He lost because it's Wardlow.
I mean, yeah. Don't take this from me.
I think that's just the short of it is he was talking about coming for the title when MJF had it. You were clearly wanting to put it on Cole there, and then you just kind of realized you had built up Wardlow for a while, but really had nothing to do with him. Cole could still be coming back sooner rather than later, but I don't think it had much to do with we gave Wardlow his win in that ladder match. Let's have him cash in, and then let's move on to other shit for a while.
Is he Braun Strowman?
No, I wouldn't go that far yet.
Yeah, it's a hard one. I can see the comparison because Braun Strowman for a good 6 weeks was cool as shit and was the hottest thing in pro wrestling. But you knew the work was never quite there where you needed it to be to really be the top guy. I think Wardlow's got potential though. He's not just what he is forever. I think in another year or two, he could be close to a top guy. It's just going to be hard in a company that has Will Ospreay and Takeshita and Kenny Omega if he ever comes back, and so many just really, really good wrestlers. I don't know if you can make it to that top tier anymore without being on that level of in-ring work.
I mean, it's a tough sell for you to be out there and be like, Kazuchika Okada, Kenny Omega, Wardlow. Well, these things is not like the other, I mean, and my take on it, and to what?
One's Japanese. You said one's not like the others. It's what? One's Japanese.
All right, Jamie.
Wardlow's not Japanese.
I'm gonna disagree. Heather says because they don't really know what to do with Wardlow. I want to say I'm gonna take the stab of. That's why we're moving on. One of these guys is not a main liner like the others because he's a lot larger than the other two. Okay, I'm in a hole that I can't get out of now, thanks to you. Okay, so
you're welcome.
I don't think it is because they don't know what to do with Wardlow. I feel like this whole thing. If Cole was healthy, who knows if it would have happened this soon? I don't know. But I feel like the whole thing is the long play, right? This is a stroke because you have Swerve in line next. You're going to have other big names like Ospreay, Okada, Omega, right? But you want to preserve that future of Wardlow, right? So that's why you're doing the bit that you're doing with him with, inside of this, that he's going to get the title and give it to Cole, whatever, right? But you got to lay some groundwork on there. And it's not one of those things that they're going to be able to, they're making pasta from scratch. And right now they just opened up the flour jar and cracked 2 eggs. We're a long way from, putting some capers in that shit.
Capers?
Yeah, capers in a lemon olive oil sauce, a little Parmesan cheese, linguine.
Oh yeah, it's probably real good. Whenever I think pasta, I always just think marinara sauce. So I was a little lost on the capers.
I'm the whitest Midwesternest guy of all time.
I worked in a higher end Italian steakhouse for over capers. A decade.
What the hell? You drinking your water with your pinky up at all times?
I like good food, man. Capers.
Yeah, that
olive oil sauce and a little extra.
That sounds delicious. I ain't gonna lie, that sounds awesome. I just wasn't what my mind went to when you said pasta.
What's really good is you put some mussels in it too, right? You might think shrimp, no, put mussels in it because mussels.
Big Rob wants to cook his Italian food. I'm in. I mean, it had to be on one of my cheat days.
Rob's with me here, man. Thank you, Rob. All
right. So moving on, let's go ahead and keep it in the kingdom. Let's just let's just try to keep things kind of paired together. So you had Kyle O'Reilly. He's making his in-ring debut on Collision against the Brian Keith. Excellent. It sucks that Brian Keith has to be the sacrificial lamb for that, but it's also great because then we get to see Brian Keith on our TV. So there is a positive there, and Kyle's gonna make him look good too. They're gonna
Brian's gonna make Kyle look good. Let's be honest. Kyle's
both of them.
Yeah.
Brian's gonna get some offense in too. It's not just gonna be a squash match. It's actually hopefully a 12, 15-minute match, like really nice. But it's really good to see him. The Kingdom comes out and says, "Hey, you know what? We're gonna let you do it on your own. You know, if you want to do it on your own, you can do it on your own." And then Kyle's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm my own. I'm gonna do it on my own." Like he was starting to freak out a little bit, which is great. Which plants the seeds. He's eventually gonna go to the Kingdom, or to Big Rob if they kick out War Daddy, because at that point he'd be back to War Daddy if he gets kicked out. Then maybe Kyle and War Daddy and MJF all team together, go against the Kingdom.
See, I was gonna say I don't think Kyle O'Reilly's going to the Kingdom. I think we're getting Kyle O'Reilly and Roddy at Dynasty.
I don't know about Dynasty.
That's 5 weeks away. Like that's plenty of time.
That's true.
Yes, again, Kyle O'Reilly is wrestling his first match in 2 years this Saturday. I understand the story points to your argument. I absolutely do. But can we at least make sure he still got it first?
Well, so if he's having his first TV match on Saturday, he's been training for a while.
You're right. You're not wrong.
When your literal job is to be a pro wrestler, like you can go train in the afternoons. Like he ain't got a 9 to 5 being an accountant or something. I know he's got a kid and like responsibilities and shit, but I would imagine he is at least 80% of what he was previously by now stepping back into the ring.
Okay.
And I think within 5 weeks, I think he'll be perfectly good to do a pay-per-view match. And I think that's where they're going to go is Roddy and Kyle O'Reilly for the international title. I almost call it the Intercontinental title because there's many geographic named belts right now.
Well, because after you have Jamie, help me out here. So we have Dynasty, and then what's the next AEW pay-per-view? Is it
Double or Nothing?
Is it Double or Nothing? Which is in May. See, I feel it's more of a Double or Nothing thing, you know? Again,
yeah.
And that's in part to that is because you have your roster as it is so big, right? You know they want to get Mercedes on that pay-per-view. They want to get buys, okay? They already have 2 matches announced for it. They announced one tonight, which we're going to talk about in a second, you know, and Will Ospreay versus Bryan Danielson. Put into my eyeballs, please, right? So I feel like something's going to get left off, right? I feel like they may just kind of skip on that and push that story to Double or Nothing, you know?
I think if you just had him come back about 2 weeks ago and your next pay-per-view is about a month and a half out, you're fucking up if you don't put him on it. Like you just had a big return. It would be almost like Mercedes Mone showing up on Dynamite's night and being around for a couple weeks and then just not having a match on Dynasty. Not that he's quite as big of a deal. But that's a guy people are excited about, and you didn't get a ton of an AEW before he got hurt anyway. I think it'd be a huge miss not to cash in on the hype behind Kyle O'Reilly right now and get him a pay-per-view match Dynasty.
I agree. I'm in.
You guys also in chat. What do you think? Dynasty. God damn it, Jamie. No, it is Dynasty.
It is Dynasty.
Yeah,
it's not
Dynasty.
Dynasty.
You and now. You
started it and you got stuck
I'm
on me.
terrible at remembering the names of I always like mispronounce AEW's pay-per-view names because I'm horrible at this. And
it's like I mispronounced Spanish names.
You purposefully did that. You did. I know you did that.
What are you talking about?
All right. Let us know in chat. Dynasty Double or Nothing. What do you think? When's Kyle going to make his pay-per-view debut?
Yes. So speaking of pay-per-view quality matches that will be coming here shortly, there was a trios match, gentlemen. And this was my second match of the night. I'm sorry, I have to give it to the Switchblade and Darby. God, yeah, I have to give it to that one. That was just a really good match. But this match was, you had the returning Pac look great. You had Pentagon Jr. Or Penta. And then, of course, you had Eddie Kingston, the new age Dusty Rhodes. That's how I feel about him.
King of the Bums.
Yeah, King of the Bums, going up against the new and improved Elite, Matthew and Nicholas, and as his passport says, the Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada. I love that. And their entrance was so sick when the Bucks dropped the coin and the coin goes. I was like, oh, dude, that beautiful. Mm-hmm. And who knew that Okada could really speak that good of English? Like, that was really good. And they even had him sing to
It's always good to have. It's always good to do a song. I love
Okada.
I mean,
go ahead,
yeah. Okada Pac squaring off, Penta doing Penta things, right? Eddie's hot as they come right now, and the Young Bucks are static in a very good way. There's no way this match is going to suck. And I really like, as I said last week, and we talked about this too, Austin, with, Okada's kind of debut. You can speak a little word since you weren't here with us. Love how it fits in with the new Elite, right? Because you put him in something there, which makes sense, okay? So he doesn't have to go it all alone. Also give him a mouthpiece so he doesn't have to do all the talking himself. Though we found he's pretty good at English. He's still English second language for sure. So love the fact that they were doing all this. And yeah, everything they did on this was fantastic.
Yeah, this match was exactly what you would expect and want it to be. It was a fun, dope trios match. I love Hilo Okada. I love him joining in on the shitty EVP thing and demanding the backstage interviewer sing happy birthday. That was such a nice touch. Him getting in there to face off with Eddie and then immediately just tagging out. Hilo Okada is so good.
As one of my favorite moves of all wrestling. I love that so much.
Yeah.
You want to go? You want to go? Nah.
Yep. It works every time. And you knew Okada was coming, and it's giving you what you wanted, but not what you expected, which is the best thing you can do. Yeah, love Okada. Love this trios match. Glad Pac's back. Pac looks twice as big as he did when he left somehow.
Please don't get hurt. Please don't get hurt again.
That was the one thing I was thinking. Actually, that reminds me. That was one thing I was thinking during this match is the Bucks look small compared to Pac, who is 5'5". Now he's a little bit taller than that, but still, it was wild how huge he looked tonight.
Yeah, he looked like he got stung by a bee. Homeboy was swole. He was pretty big. But to your guys' point, heel Okada, I love, when they do the pose now, Okada does his pose right in the middle of them. It's just so damn good. This isn't the Okada that we wanted, but this is the Okada that we need right now. I think...
Very good reference.
I think he makes a lot of sense right now to come in as a heel because we do have some top faces, and with the work that the Bucks are doing right now, which is arguably the best work that they have ever done, Bullet Club, anything, and man, I'm loving this. I love the fact that Okada won with the Rainmaker on Eddie, and then he held the title. So it's completely setting up for next Wednesday when those two are going at it. And if I'm a betting man, and ladies and gentlemen, I am definitely a betting man, Okada's walking away with that belt.
I like it too that they're individualizing the belt somewhat. Even if he doesn't win it, I've told you guys this. I can't stand the whole you get all of them at once or none of them, right? It's 3 separate titles. That was kind of the shtick, is that you got to do 3 times the work because you're 3 times the champion, right? And they haven't been doing that. So I like that they're, at least for this one match, this one title, they're individualizing it. I dig that.
Yeah, I think Okada's taking that belt, which that'll be good. Especially it's your Continental Championship. It's kind of like they don't do with the international title. Send him around places to go defend that thing and hype it up a little bit. But yeah, I would say there's very little chance Eddie Kingston is beating Okada. I also like that Bryan Danielson just couldn't beat Kingston for that belt. So if Okada wins it, you can go to Okada Danielson 3 anywhere down the line you want to when he has that title and have a little bit more story to build into it. Not that you need it, but it's the options there. Kind of touch on something you said, Jamie, though. The Bucks are doing phenomenal heel work at a time when AEW needs actual heels. Because you had Swerve is turning face. Hangman's a heel, but Hangman also is he's so good at what he's doing that you don't want to boo him. Kind of like the Tony Storm thing. You've got a lot of heels that they're not being baby faces, but they're just so cool that you don't really want to boo them.
Right.
The Bucks give you someone to boo relentlessly, just like Christian does now. But even Christian has gotten a little too entertaining where
I think we just
do
like
him for
Christian
fun,
so much because he's so good
but
at
you
it.
still love him. The Bucks are doing a good job of being like the actual bad guys on the show that no one really wants to like. And I think it's good for the product.
I was gonna ask you about that because I know that's been one of your big things is that you wanted to have definitive heels and faces, right? You know,
and not exclusively, not across the
not,
board.
not exclusive, but you wanted to have some. You got to have some face. You always said, you brought back the WWE equation. You got to have a John Cena. You got to have, you got to have at least some here and there, right? I'm ignoring that 100%, Jamie.
Delay No More says Vince McMahon and Ryback are both going to AEW. Vince McMahon's going to jail, and Ryback is probably going to go get some more steroids. That's probably about the only thing that's going to happen with those two.
I just think
I love it.
So anyway, the definitive heels and faces, and next week Continental title match under Continental rules. Which apparently
they're hyping up next week too. Like they're giving us another pretty stacked Dynamite.
Well, they don't even need to because you got the I Quit match between Copeland and Christian. I don't need anything else. But man, they're giving it to us. I'll take it.
Yeah, absolutely. They're building these shows up.
How about Will Ospreay?
Two other things. Ospreay.
Will Ospreay, ladies and gentlemen.
Bro,
that crowd was hyped for him.
Every crowd's been hyped for him, man.
Well, he's so over it hurts, man. Like Megan and I were joking, and she's like, Okada's never gonna lose. I'm like, I'm okay with that. And she's like, Will Ospreay's never gonna lose. I'm like, I'm also okay with that. Even if they face each other, no one loses. Everybody wins. Everybody wins.
I almost bought the new Will Ospreay shirt on shopaw.com. The Bruv one.
I haven't looked at it yet. Is it black?
That's a pretty solid
black.
shirt.
That's why I said almost. I haven't bought it. It's just big giant green and white letters. It says Bruv.
Dude.
They are so loaded with talent right now, and it's in the best way possible because they have like tiers of top talent. Like you've got your Okada, you've got your Ospreay. Swerve, I think, is ascending to that tier, and I think he's going to get there this year. But I think the audience still looks at Swerve as just a step below that. Takeshita, you're probably putting him up there with Ospreay and Okada, but you still, after Revolution, you're probably putting him up there, but he's still on that line. Jay White is like right about there too. You still got Mox and Danielson around, like. You can do it where you can keep Swerve, Okada, Ospreay apart long enough that when you finally put them together, it's going to be a huge deal and it's going to mean something in a way you really haven't got with wrestling in a long time.
This feels like, Jamie, the exact opposite of about 2 years ago when nobody was healthy and Mox had to put the entire company on his shoulders, right?
Yeah.
Now they got an embarrassment of riches in the best way, like Austin said.
And think about this. You have Omega probably coming back here pretty quick. I feel like with everything that they're doing, Omega's right around the corner, and then that's gets Omega with two people.
I thought Omega just said the other day like he doesn't have any kind of timeline right now.
Yeah,
like I think he's gonna be gone for some time.
Dude, it's just diverticulitis.
Mox did never get that vacation. That could be serious shit, dude. Hey.
I mean, he did get one vacation, but he ended up being better for it. But no, seriously, in all seriousness, like you're absolutely right. Like, what a time to be an AEW fan. Like, the men's top tier is ridiculous. Their second tier is ridiculous. Hell, even their third tier is pretty damn good. Like if you think about who would you put in their third tier? Tier 3.
I'd probably
Daniel
say
Garcia.
Yes.
I think Daniel Garcia is
there.
like.
I think that
Acclaim.
Darby Allin's somewhere in tier 2-ish.
Yeah, he's tier 2.
I don't know. I would probably put Darby right under the top guys.
Yeah,
because
tier
he has
2.
been heavily protected, and we'll get into this shortly when we talk about his efforts this evening. But Darby's been heavily protected. Like, you don't just beat Darby. MJF had to punch him in the head with the ring to beat him. Like, I would say he's presented as adjacent to the top guys. Like, he could be there, but he would rather just go climb Mount Everest and jump off stuff on tricycles and shit.
I'd put him on the
Like,
same level as Orange Cassidy, right?
I would put Darby on the level of like the mid-90s Undertaker.
Oh yeah, good,
he's an attraction.
Reference.
And he's going to win way more often than not, but you're going to have someone beat him when it means something, but he's often going to be involved in other things just because he's an attraction, and you don't really need that super important other side because you're there to see Darby get thrown off things and almost die several times, but still be fine somehow.
Yeah. Oh, well, let's just go ahead and get into that match. I think that's the last piece we have.
I missed a large chunk of this match because the sky decided to open up and it hailed for about 35 minutes solid at my house.
That reminds me really quick. I forgot to bring it up when we talked about Willow and Riho. Did y'all's feed get all messed up during that match?
No.
Because it happened to me for like the first 5 minutes of that match, and I saw other people bitching about it on Twitter. So it wasn't exclusive to me. But also, I was talking to Heidi, who's out of town right now, and she was watching just fine on her feed. So I think it was just some of them. But yeah, I was wondering if it got messed up for y'all.
Oh, Rob had audio thing. Yeah, no, I didn't have anything.
I had no problems. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna let you guys do lion's share because I really wanted to see this match a lot, and the weather. I had to make sure my house didn't get blown away into a smattering of ice because.
Okay, well, let me paraphrase this. It was not your typical Darby Allin match.
No shit, I missed the good one.
It was not a 90-10. It was not even an 80-20. It wasn't even a 70-30. It was probably a 60-40. That's probably the best way to put it. 60% Jay, 40%, Darbs. But like you had a poor chair get absolutely murdered by the back of one Darby Allin.
Of course you did. Of course you did.
And this match was a surprise for me because honestly, I thought, okay, Darby's gonna be out for a little bit. They're gonna have him win, especially since he was just with Sting. He's gonna win. He's gonna win. He's gonna win. And not only did he lose, he lost clean. Like, that was the most surprising piece of it for me.
Mm-hmm.
Was like there was no outside interference shenanigans. Legit hit the sling blade and got it.
So, go ahead, JJ. Go ahead.
I will say, because again, I'll let you go to lion's share of talking because I didn't watch the match, but I will say this: Jay White in general has that NXT Adam Cole about him, right? He'll do some dirty shit, but most of the time when he's out there wrestling a real match, he wrestles clean and he wrestles good, right? That was what Adam Cole did when he was in NXT, right? He'd go out there and he would straight up beat people. So that's kind of his thing.
See, I am the exact opposite of Jamie. I saw Jay White winning this match coming a million miles away because he needs to, and Darby absolutely does not.
Yeah. Darby's going on a break. He doesn't need to win this.
He's going on a break, and he's going on a break to climb the tallest mountain in the world that like people die on. So when he comes back, he's going to be super over no matter what happens in this match. Jay White's been doing the trios thing for a while, but we needed a reminder that Jay White is still one of the best wrestlers on the roster, even though we just talked about there's a lot of guys you could say that about. But it was a great way to remind you of who and what Jay White is, give him a clean victory over someone that, like I said 5 minutes ago, he doesn't lose unless it's needed and important. And yeah, the match was great. I liked that it was different than your normal Darby match, and I think it was because Jay White isn't that much bigger than Darby. Like he's bigger than Darby, but it was a different size guy. You don't often get to see Darby work smaller dudes in a straight up competitive wrestling match. That missed coffin drop on the apron like hurt me watching it though.
I mean, that is the hardest part of the ring.
The hard part of the ring.
And like he didn't quite miss it. He just like kind of clipped it with his shoulder and then crashed into the match. But
that's
like
even worse. Jesus.
He's made of rubber and just is fine somehow. Always. I mean, good, but
Heather has a good point too. She says, and as we all know, Heather loves every single one of Jay White's 87 abs. Not
39 and a half.
Yeah. Get your mind out of the gutter, chat. Not in that way, but in general. But she says,
keep it there.
She says, she says she believes that people sleep on how good a worker Jay White is. I think that's true. You forget because he does all the funny, sticky stuff, right? He's not wrestling week in, week out, so you might, casual viewers that would be maybe they do sleep on it. You gotta be reminded by stuff like this because it takes two to tango. Jay's one of the best to do it,
or 4 or 5 or 6.
Well, we are going to continue to get Jay White and trios action probably for some time because it seems like they're built into the Bang Bang Scissor Gang versus the imploding like the Mega Powers at Dynasty.
Yes. So it's
who saw that coming? Hello.
Yeah, it's official, ladies and gentlemen. The Bang Bang Scissor Gang has officially broken up.
T-shirt sales must have gone down.
Yeah. So essentially, Bang Bang Scissor, the Bang Bang Gang, the Bullet Club Gold comes out.
There we go.
Yeah, Bullet Club Gold comes out. I still like calling them Bang Bang Gang. They're all in the ring, and Jay White looks like he's about to shake Darby's hand after a hard-fought win, and then he just points the gun at him and goes, and then they just start beating the shit out of him, and then they're getting ready to break his ankle in a chair with a aluminium bat. Gotta say it, like Jay White. And here comes the Acclaimed. They're like, "Oh, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?" And then Max Caster and Anthony Bowens take Darby off. That leaves Daddy Ass in there, and they drop Daddy Ass, and they start beating the shit out of Daddy Ass. And then here comes the rest of the Acclaim. They start beating the shit out of them. They pick up Darby. They bring Darby back in, and they successfully hit the aluminium bat on the chair to essentially break Darby's ankle. How'd I do with that?
Trios unification match inbound.
Yeah. The one common fault I see more than others with AEW's TV product is that shit like this always drags on way too long. It was about 2 minutes longer than it needed to be. Like it was still way more drawn out when you kind of saw what was coming, which is like fine. It was a logical story point. It wasn't predictable in a bad way, but I feel like they just drew it out way too long and they could have just kind of gotten through it a bit quicker. It seemed like every time they do one of these more drawn out or like one of these like big storyline things post match or to end a show, they always end up going a little bit longer than they really need to. And it just kind of gets awkward there for a second.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I agree. But it's good to see the breakup.
I'm excited of them breaking them up.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Take the trios titles off the Acclaimed and let's do something to freshen up the Acclaimed because they've been treading water for a minute.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm. So that was Dynamite, guys. I mean, pretty good show. I mean, yes, you didn't want anything overshadowing Mercedes Mone. You book into the show with her. You had some good stuff in the middle, right? You didn't have like the end all be all banger though. I thought that was kind of a good middle ground to take with everything so that you kept the focus where you wanted to have it. Your headline is just like our headline is, where it should be. Mercedes Mone.
Yeah, and I think that gives you optimism for the women's division going forward that they were bringing her. Obviously, she was going to be a big point of the night, but they could have just had her come out at the beginning, The crowd could see her, and you could have done anything else with the rest of the show. But they made the women's division the focal point of the night, and they made sure not to book anything that was going to overshadow it. Yeah, you got a trios match with some of the best workers on the planet, and it was very good, but it wasn't this super long, drawn-out, epic battle. It was just a good TV trios match. You got Jay White and Darby, which was a phenomenal match, but it was a phenomenal TV match. Like, it wasn't like Ospreay and Fletcher last week where you got something that was going to blow your mind. It was perfectly booked to feature the women tonight.
Yeah. You can't go hard all the time. You got to breathe every once in a while, right?
Go hard.
Or go home.
I agree. Awkward silence time.
Awkward silence time here. Yeah, I was debating doing I was gonna do a song reference, but I'm not gonna do it.
Well, do you want to get into a little baby Fed talk? Like, they are continuing Cody's story.
Cody's story is continuing. I mean, we're at that point of sign pointing season.
I love that WrestleMania side.
It just right here, where we're in the doldrums of the long wait, right? Kind of, they've done Elimination Chamber, and now we're just waiting. So yeah, they're continuing on to Cody's story, right? They actually got some good stuff that they got going on here. I am really excited.
Sami Zayn versus Gunther. Sami Zayn versus Gunther.
Sami versus Gunther. I'm really excited to see what they do with this 6-team ladder elimination tag team championship mayhem. What the fuck is going on match? I am really, really amped to see that, because that's just going to be just a goat fuck of gloriousness. It's going to be fantastic.
You're about to say cacophony. I know you.
I was going to say cacophony.
I have a feeling that tag match is either going to be super rad or it's going to be a mess. Kind of like the 8-man ladder match at Revolution was just kind of fell off the rails. Like, there's just too many people out there. Now you almost double that. I could see that being very clustery.
Absolutely.
For a match that's almost certainly going to end with 2 different teams pulling the 2 different title belts down. Because why wouldn't you have a different set of tag team champions for each of your shows?
Fine.
Like, that's where we're going with this, right?
100%. This is their way to easily break up the tag titles. And I think it's going to be a cluster. And it's going to be, I'm going to love every second of it. See, this is the type of cluster I like. Texas Chainsaw Massacre street fight? Not so much. This?
That's amazing.
Yes, give me this.
Anytime I get to see somebody dressed like Leatherface.
I would like to see him do 3 teams from SmackDown, 3 teams from Raw. But night 1, Judgment Day defends the Raw half of the titles against the other 3 teams in a ladder match. And then night 2, they defend the other titles. So if they happen to lose them on night 1, they still got another shot. Or if they win both, they keep the titles and keep them unified. Give me a 4-team ladder match each night.
I mean, I like that gimmick, but no, we're getting 12 men in the ring going up 2 ladders for 2 separate titles. It's gonna be nuts.
This sounds like a bad idea.
It's kind of hard to do with the ladder match, but I would have liked this to have been like a cinematic, like when they did the Money in the Bank in the corporate headquarters.
Oh my god,
that was so much fun.
The road off the top.
I like the food fight that then turned into oh my god, that was so good.
Either that or bring back the old WCW 3-story cage and then like have the titles in the top chamber and everyone's got to brawl their way up several levels. I would be here to see that as well.
3-story cage, man. That's we were just talking about that not too long ago. I
Bring it
was
back.
going to bring a lot of stuff back because there was actually, if you look back in the annals of history, there was a lot of really good stuff that was done in different WrestleManias in the past.
Well, I hate you guys. I'm going to watch Ready to Rumble tonight now. Thank you.
I need to give that another watch. I haven't watched that in probably a year or so. So it's about time.
I will bust you.
But I haven't had a lot of time for Ready to Rumble recently because I've been watching some old WrestleManias. And I figure might be a good time to do a stash of knowledge about some old wrestling, which I haven't done in some time.
Let's do it. Let's get knowledgeable about some old school wrestling. Can't believe I'm calling it old school.
Fashion knowledge.
I've been watching a lot of primetime wrestling from the mid to late 80s recently, which was great because I still haven't seen a lot of those. So there is stuff that's new to me, even though I kind of know like what's going on with people at the time. But once I started watching those, I figured I was going to start rewatching the old WrestleManias. I am not committing myself to what I did for the Rumble, that I'm going to watch all of them because there's way too many and they start to get really long. But at least the first dozen or so, the older, like through the new generation, at least, I've watched 1, 2, and 3 already. And between that and primetime wrestling, there has been a couple matches that are just gems I'd completely forgot about, and a couple segments and other things that happened that I did not know and are just absolutely wild. And I'm going to start at WrestleMania 2. As most wrestling fans know, at that event, you had Roddy Piper boxing Mr. T, pretty well known to history. What I had forgot is the 3 celebrity judges for that boxing fight. One of them is legendary jazz and blues musician Cab Calloway. If you've never heard Minnie the Moocher, I suggest giving it a listen.
Oh,
classic American music right there.
Absolutely.
Another one is NBA icon Chocolate Thunder Daryl Dawkins, which
I forgot about Daryl.
okay,
No,
you got a famous basketball player. That's a good celebrity. You got a famous musician. Like, cool. We don't know what they know about boxing, but they're not actually boxing in there, so it doesn't really matter. Let's go to celebrity number 3. Do either of y'all know who this is? If you don't know, you're probably never going to guess.
I'm trying to remember because I know it's like this is like the it was like the sideball.
It wasn't Muhammad Ali, even though he's going in.
No. This is not. This is someone more infamous than famous. Celebrity judge or celebrity boxing judge number 3 for this match is G. Gordon Liddy of the Watergate break-in fame. The guy that broke into Watergate is their 3rd celebrity judge for this boxing match.
Because it was like so random. Like, wait, what?
It blew my mind. I don't know why that was a thing, but for some reason it was. Also from WrestleMania 2, you get the 20-man battle royal where you've got the NFL guys in there with the WWF superstars. Won by Andre the Giant, because if Andre the Giant's in a battle royal, he's definitely winning.
There's no way anybody else is winning that thing.
I had forgot also in that match, the longest reigning WWF champion of all time, Bruno Sammartino.
Yep.
I forgot that too.
Completely forgot. And also a young but still super old looking Dan Spivey, who was in the Fed for a minute before leaving for a while and then coming back as Waylon Mercy later on. Bruno Sammartino is in that, and he doesn't even make it to the final few because it's Brett, Anvil, and Andre at the end. I'll go through the WrestleManias really quick. WrestleMania 3, kind of an iconic moment in WWE history, but I always forget until I rewatch that pay-per-view how damn good Aretha Franklin's America the Beautiful is before that show. She's accompanying herself on the piano. She's Aretha Franklin, one of the greatest singers of all time. Probably the best, even though it's not quite the national anthem, probably the best version of Let's Celebrate America for a Minute before any WrestleMania ever.
Yeah.
All-time great performance. And then going back to the first WrestleMania really quick. One, I'd forgot how short most of those matches were. It's almost like a glorified house show that just happened to be with celebrities and stuff. So it's kind of interesting to watch back. But throughout the first 2 Manias, you actually have much better women's matches than I remember. Like, you've got Velvet McIntyre, I think it was WrestleMania 2. And I'm forgetting off the top of my head, I just watched it yesterday, who she wrestled. But I've seen Velvet McIntyre on a few of these primetime wrestling episodes I've watched. Mad underrated in the ring. If you get a chance, go back and watch some Velvet McIntyre matches. But the women's wrestling in those early WrestleManias, it looks just like the men's of the time. And it always blows my mind going back and watching it, how far they fell in the late 90s to early 2000s when they basically started from scratch with models and actresses. Because you get some really good women's wrestling in that mid to late 80s time frame.
You sure do. I mean, the first WrestleMania was a proof of concept, right? It was the idea he had, but it didn't deviate from what wrestling was back then, right? Like you talk about. Number 2 is definitely kind of that weird sort of trying to recapture lightning in a bottle a second time, expanding it. 3 is where WrestleMania today really, in my opinion, was born, right? Okay, it's where it really started, okay?
Yeah.
Because, you can make the same sort of equation. The Super Bowls 1 and 2, they were the AFL, NFL championship games, and then, Lamar Hunt renamed it, Super Bowl, right? It was Super Bowl 3, 4, Super Bowls, right? And I think you had a key moment. Same thing, Super Bowl 3, right? You had the Jets and Namath and the underdogs, right? You had the big moment with Andre and Hulk and did all that. But you had all the other stuff that went with it. It was up until recently, it was the largest build, I want to say up until the last, 10 years or so. I think it was beaten before we got to London. But it was for the longest time, it was the largest indoor wrestling audience. It was the largest indoor wrestling audience forever, right? And you had so many. It really brought about the spectacleism of wrestling, spectacling of wrestling as WrestleMania is really the point of it, right? And nothing's better than having ring carts. And watching the Ultimate Warrior, who's famous for running at, coked up 105 miles an hour down a ring, simulate that inside this slow-ass moving cart all the way down to the... running in place for 10 minutes because it takes forever. It's fantastic. I love WrestleMania 3 so much.
Yeah. It's a wild contrast going from 1 and 2 and then jumping to 3. And just how much bigger of an event it is. Mm-hmm. And also just how much more brightly lit it is. 1 and 2, 1, it's just old cameras and stuff, but you don't have the same lighting and all that. And then you get into a mid-daytime show in this big open stadium. And it's a much brighter product for WrestleMania 3. I did forget to throw out my favorite part of WrestleMania 2, aside from the G. Gordon Liddy cameo for some reason, which... if you haven't seen White House Plumbers on HBO, it's Woody Harrelson and Justin Theroux playing G. Gordon Liddy and E. Howard Hunt breaking into Watergate. Phenomenal show. WrestleMania 2 kicks off in New York City with Paul Orndorff versus Don Morocco, and they go about 4.5 minutes to a double count out, and the entire crowd starts chanting bullshit at the top of their lungs. It was a stark reminder that they've been disappointing their audience for 4 straight decades now.
Nothing like the old double count out to get the crowd hot for their opening match.
They're both
done. Yeah, it is not ideal.
So what's your plan? Are you gonna watch a few more, or what are you gonna do?
I'm gonna watch at least through 12. And then I might selectively pick ones from there.
18,
17 for sure.
17. Yeah. I was going to say 17's one.
17's the greatest. I think it's the greatest one ever.
17, yeah. 18, 20, 21.
25 I'll probably rewatch just because I was there because it was in Houston. And that Shawn Michaels Undertaker match is one of my favorite matches of all time at 25.
Yeah.
But yeah, really, once you get past about 2010, I might have to just pick certain matches because I don't know if I could watch those whole shows.
Oh, no.
That being said, I feel like the last 2 years, Mania's been an enjoyable show. I like that they split it to 2 nights and each night's a little bit shorter. That helps. But just kind of like the rest of their product, 2010 to present day, there's just a lot of filler. It doesn't seem like WrestleMania anymore. It doesn't seem special like a big event. It's just their biggest show of the year.
I remember looking back, and you had like WrestleMania 6 and 7 and 8. It felt like on par with the Super Bowl, right? You know, I mean,
It really
at least
did.
from that time, because me and Jamie, we were kids. That was like peak wrestling, you know, when we were around that age there, where it was just like, and it felt like Super Bowl, WrestleMania, and then every other sporting event on the earth, right? Just fell underneath it. It was
When I
up
was
there.
that young, I didn't even care about the Super Bowl as much as
I
wrestling.
cared about because I live in Central Illinois, right? So we didn't really have a distinctive team that everybody loved and cheered and rooted for. It was all some Bears fans, but Bears were long past due.
My dad didn't watch sports. It was weird.
Yeah.
Like
so
how
it,
it
so
ended
yeah,
up being me was the weirdest thing.
WrestleMania was the thing, right? You know, and I remember going to Blockbuster and renting all the old WrestleManias continuously. You know. And,
Oh yeah.
But yeah, 6, 7, 8. That was that sweet spot at the time, right? But then actually up through 10, I would say 6 through 10 is what I would say.
WrestleMania 9 gets ragged on because the end of the show is so terrible, but it's actually pretty underrated as a whole. I thoroughly enjoy WrestleMania 9.
Well, that's a fantastic knowledge here. We're interested to see, and again, he's not doing the whole watch everyone before WrestleMania.
It's just the early ones, the good old days of WrestleMania.
The golden age of WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Well, ladies and
there's
gentlemen,
so many great matches. As we get closer, we gotta start talking about some of our favorite matches.
Yeah,
like
we'll have to pull out a match.
WrestleMania 21, the inaugural Money in the Bank that Edge won.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, and that had like a who's who of people.
Which one was it? Was it 20 that had the, or was it 18 that had the tables, ladders, and chairs match between?
That was 17.
That was
also that
17.
one.
Yeah, 17 is by far probably the best there was.
Yeah, and then Big Rob mentioning WrestleMania 22 as his favorite. 22
Okay.
as one of my favorite WrestleMania matches of all time. Edge and Foley in the No Holds Barred match.
Oh
The spear
yeah,
through the flaming table.
That was so good.
yeah, but you got Rock versus Stone Cold at 17, dude, and you got the TLC match.
17 had everything.
Oh yeah, 17's like to me is the greatest of all time. And my absolute favorite match at WrestleMania 17, if you know anything about Austin Reddick, was the gimmick battle royal.
Yeah, yeah.
Austin Reddick loves him again. We got a roll.
I love the gimmick battle royal.
Well, there was not a gimmick battle royal in Olathe, Kansas this past Friday. But
Unfortunately.
there was not yet. But there was a brand new wrestling promotion that did have their inaugural show. We talked about before, you might have been here a few weeks ago, we had Chase on here, Chase Riley, the owner and founder of Fountain City Pro, and they had a very successful first show. That's the first show of things that happened. Okay, it's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
Didn't start quite on time. It's okay, you know. But overall, great crowd showed up. You know, it's only going to get better. They've had one show, so they're figuring out as the way it went. Jamie and I did the pre-show like we made mention of earlier, so definitely want to go check that out. We got a copy of that down below here. We're gonna talk to him. We may keep doing that as well. Keep an eye on our socials. You know, we'll let you guys know. But the show itself was fantastic. It was a great length. It had about 150 people, 200 people. What was the gate give or take?
It
I don't know if I
felt
ever
like
got
it was
a
over
number.
200.
But it was about as many people as you could put there. They had to cart out 40 more chairs right before the show started.
Yeah. It was
about as packed as it could be in there.
a very excellent venues, right? For those of you familiar with Kansas City who did not go, I know our buddy Rob in chat, he was there. But it's over an event center, Ball Event Center, which is right on the campus of Olathe Medical Center, right off the highway. Very easy to get to, very good center. It's gonna be air conditioned in the summer. It's gonna be heated in the winter. I mean, those are some pretty nice digs for an independent wrestling show. Let's be real, guys.
Great lighting, great ceilings. Like, come on now.
Yeah, high ceilings, you know, and so everything was a very good show. The crowd was fantastic. Lots of old friends that we haven't seen for a while we got to see, which was great. Lots of new friends we get to make too. And the wrestling was fantastic. One of the members of this dais, of course, was in a match on that particular card. Austin with Tommy Too Good and his beautiful bride, Heidi Howitzer. Getting the dub against the St. Louis folk, Tootie Lynn, and technical difficulties.
Hell yeah. Walked in, got a win. And if you have seen me wrestle in the past. That doesn't happen very often, for being honest. Yeah, no, it was great. I had not gotten the chance before to see Technical Difficulties in the ring. Phenomenal tag team out of the St. Louis area. Tootie Lynn also is fantastic. But yeah, had a real fun trios match. Got to tag with the wife for the first time, and couldn't tell you last time we tagged together. So it's been a hot minute. Actually, it was like a Taco Fest show like a year ago or sometime for Triple L. So it's been a minute either way. But yeah, they had packed crowd. The crowd was super hot. Had some early on technical difficulties, i.e. the brand new ring for the show. Showed up with the boards a little too long, so they had to do some last minute carpentry before getting all that put together. But it all got put together. The show went off, and yeah, I thought it was a great night of pro wrestling. I got to watch most of it. Who kind of stood out for y'all that y'all hadn't got to see in the past?
So I'll go first. Honestly, I was very impressed with Tommy. I will definitely give him some props. Tommy looked great. Tommy needs to get Twitter, by the way.
I've been telling him.
Get on Twitter. People like him. My daughters loved his hair. But no, there was another guy in the scramble. He was one of the Scotties. Scott Hansen.
Scott Hansen, yes.
Yes.
Handsome Scott Hansen.
Scott Hansen, yeah. Like he's good. Not only does he catch predators, he can wrestle too.
Again, just like yes.
You're welcome.
He's gonna keep.
Yeah,
giving
I
that
wasn't
joke until
familiar
somebody
with
gets it.
him, but yeah, I liked his whole shtick.
No, he like it was hilarious. Like we were sitting there and we were watching him, and I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? Like we were like just flabbergasted, and then here comes Megan, who because I brought the entire clan. And Megan just leans over and goes, who's this guy? I'm like, that's what we just said.
I mean, he started doing some flippy spinny shit that we're just like, in a 6-person scramble. Out of nowhere, we're like, wait, what? What?
Yeah, it's like, we like this guy. I
Hell
want more of
yeah.
him.
He was...
My moment of the night, though, before I give it off to JJ, was when the Howlets came out.
Oh.
Audrey's face, like her jaw dropped because we kept it a complete surprise because she absolutely loves the Howlets. Like
we knew we were there 3 hours early.
Yeah, Howlets are 1A, and then Heidi is 1B. Like that's her thing. But like 1A and 1B is like this. It's not like this. It's like Howlets for life, man. Like I swear to God, she's gonna get that tattoo. But like literally, she's like, oh my God, and like almost started crying because she saw them come out. Like she just damn near died.
Hell yeah.
Most of the people we have already seen and we're familiar with, we knew most of a good chunk of them personally, right? You know? So again, seeing somebody like Handsome Scott Hansen was fantastic, right? We actually got to talk with Anakin a little bit before the show as well, too, you know, really, because we've seen him multiple times, you know, and really nice guy. I got to do, he did a spot on me in the middle of the match. He came over because I was right on the end of our row. So he came over on the aisle there after he got beaten up by one of the. And he goes, oh God, can you pop my back? And I go, you want me to what? And he goes, can you do the thing? It's like, no, I know what it is. You want me to pop your? Okay. Now, for those of you who are unfamiliar, Anakin Murphy. Okay, I'm 6'3" and 290. Okay, I've been losing weight, but you know, still got a ways to go. You know, I'm a big dude. Okay, I wear like a 52 jacket. You know. Anakin is about the size of my leg.
At best.
So, okay, cool. So I go to pop his back, and he just sells the fuck out of it. I go, you son of a bitch.
That's awesome.
Oh, he gets on the ground, starts pointing at me, and I'm just like, good.
Of course, I'm like, what'd you do?
I know. And I'm like, God damn.
Yeah.
So I sold it. I was going for it. And that was good. You know, the opening match was great. I had not seen Ray Leone yet. Jamie had at Heartland. I didn't get the chance to go to the Heartland show that Jamie went to go see him, unfortunately. But it's my first time seeing him. He was great. He is just a fantastic heel. and we got to meet him too. I'm not going to talk about him outside of the ring because I don't want to kill anything, but he's a cool dude, and we had a great time kind of meeting him. I really was happy to see him. It's happy to see everybody. You know, Davey Vega, you know, defending the Journey title would probably be my highlight. Him and Gary J. Plus, Davey Vega bought his whole crew from Anarchy and WrestleMax over. Yeah, Nikki XS and the Twins, right?
Yeah,
like,
the
I didn't know it was
gingerbread
gonna,
man.
the gingerbread. I didn't know he was going to bring everybody, his whole crew with him. I thought it was a great little touch there. And it's fantastic. And big props, shout outs to St. Louis Anarchy, because that is their title. I mean, they have assumed it since the fall of Journey Pro, right? So it is very cool for them to let so much of their talent come over and defend that belt. But I just thought, all in all, it was not Journey Pro. It's not supposed to be Journey Pro. It did feel like its own entity, which is what I wanted to see. So they're establishing an identity. They're establishing a brand. First show out. They got plenty to go with it. It's going to have a lot of familiar faces, but I'm interested to see where they go with it because, hey, for a first show, that was a pretty successful first show. That card, as excited as people were, I mean that count, you know, the sell that they had was pretty damn good for show number 1.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they looked at what Journey Pro did well because you do have some carryover and people involved, but they didn't try to just copy it. But they definitely tried to fill the hole that Journey Pro left in Kansas City wrestling, and I thought they did a phenomenal job of doing that. Great first show. You don't draw basically I don't know if it was like legally sold out like to the capacity of the building, but there weren't many open seats in there. It was about as packed as it could be. Like I said, they'd roll out more seats. You don't do that unless you're doing shit the right way. That entire team is doing stuff the right way. So I'm looking forward to the future with them.
Big round of applause to Chase.
Great
Michael,
job.
Josh.
I'm looking forward to the future. Yeah, Friday. I guess they're going to be announcing everything on Friday. So
they're announcing
be on the
title.
lookout.
They're announcing title and details. I don't know if they're announcing any matches or any talent yet, but I know.
No, they might. Who knows?
They did last time. They announced some stuff earlier.
It's Mother's Day weekend, right? It's gonna be the Friday of Mother's Day.
Yeah, Friday, May 10th.
Yeah. So, oh God, I have a tournament. Hoping we don't play Friday night.
If we do,
I might not be there.
We're gonna figure it out. We're gonna make it work. All right.
I like this.
I got no commitments. I'm just a lonely guy. I'm just a kid, and life is a nightmare. I mean,
life is a nightmare. Life is way.
That's a totally different genre I just quoted there, but that's okay.
I know. I am aware.
It's fine, Jamie. You know I'd do anything for you, okay? I don't know. So I finally signed up for Spotify. I'm on there for preview. So you gotta go through and spend like hours, like, you know, cultivating the AI to understand your music liking. So I'm just digging through a bunch of stuff. So last night I spent like 3 hours digging through like pop punk, right? So I got a simple plan in my head. I can't get it out. All right, enough about that. Journey Pro, more details coming soon. We will have
City Pro. Not Journey Pro, Found City Pro.
Found City Pro. See, this is what happens. You get me going and I get fucked up. FCP. I would like FC Pro better, but FCP is good. That's just as easy a chant.
Yeah, I like FCP. Yeah, you know me.
Which we did that. All right. We're definitely going to keep talking about it. Yes, we know the people that are running it. We highly support this promotion. Do check out their socials if you're interested. They're going to have the show. They're producing it, so they're not doing the shows live. We did our pre-show live. Jamie and I did, but they're going to produce the show and they're going to release it as a video on their socials, so on their YouTube, on their Facebook. I have down below their website listed. You can link through to all that from their website. Please go give them a follow. Definitely support local wrestling. 100%. As we always say, support your local wrestling promotions.
And buy their merch.
We were both wearing people who were on the cards merch on Friday. It was fantastic.
We were supporting one family alone.
One household. which
It wasn't
may or
the
may
Howard.
not be visible
It was
on the
not the
screen
Howard.
right now.
Yes, we and one of them may or may not be a co-host on our show. Yes, I was rocking the Austin Reddick Stash of Knowledge shirt, one of two in existence.
Hell yeah.
Until we get our damn Etsy thing
We're gonna
live.
get to figure it out the next couple of weeks here, Jamie. You and I can
And
get
then
together.
and then
remember?
JJ was rocking the Heidi Howitzer shirt. So
Heidi Hauser, she had the white like Mad Max shirt which I love.
It was
even though
pretty
it's
rad.
like even though it's just cut way short, you know, I'm all torso.
Yeah.
But
she showed me her idea of her next one, and I was like, dude, you should do that like in white with like black outline, and then the thing is just like, is that what you're doing? She's like, well, I am now.
Nice.
Oh,
Yeah, I think she was looking to get some like stickers and other cool shit like that made too. So there should be more Heidi Howitzer merch in the future, and
I don't think
maybe
I have
one day
a-
Austin Reddick merch. But I always forget to do that. So
I got Luke. I
We'll
got
see.
a bunch of AEW stuff. I got Sam Beal stickers. I don't think I ever got a Heidi
I
sticker.
miss Sam Beal. I love me some Sam Beal. He's a
We
good
got
dude.
we got something to chase about that. We'll get Sam Beal back to Kansas City.
And
All right,
JDX.
yeah, I like
is
Sam
like-
Beal.
All right, we're gonna adjourn here. All right, so thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for listening. I know everybody wants Heidi Howitzer merch. Stay tuned. We'll give you an update as soon as we get one from him, who gets one from her.
We know a
All right.
guy. We know a guy.
Yeah, there will be more Heidi Howitzer merch incoming.
well, we might even put that link in chat when it's available. Who knows? Another reason for you guys to join us every week, and we'll be back here next week at same bad time, same bad channel. We're gonna see where we go with this. They're starting to build the card out for Dynasty, so let's see what we do with Mercedes Mone in the women's division. So come join us. If this is your first time, welcome. We do want to see you back again. Please hit that like and subscribe button down below. Hit the bell. Hit the little bell icon too if you want to be notified when we go live. Like this past Friday when we go live at a wrestling show that we do the pre-show for, right? Perfect example. But thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Jamie, take us home, man.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not down with Total Spotfest, I got one word for you. Bruv.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week.
Peace.
Later.
Oh, no, my button's not working. Why is my button not working? Oh, it turned off. We are a professional.